In this video, we're going to talk about how the Giants are going to have 4 position battles that us as fans are going to have to keep an eye on, and this video starts right now. With around 4 months to go until the start of the 2023 season, we're slowly starting to get a better feel of what the roster of the Giants is going to look like. A year ago at this point, many didn't have as high of hopes for the Giants, which allowed them to fly a bit under the radar and shock the entire NFL world in the 2022 season. Big Blue went 9-7-1, made the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, and won a playoff game for the first time since winning their last Super Bowl. While it's a great thing to have for the Giants, have happened to the Giants and their fans, the time for celebrating what happened in 2022 has to end, and the improvements of 23 began the second the season ended. Part of the improvements will be the training camp battles that will happen, and not just the fights between the offense and defensive linemen. Battles for positions and spots on the 53-man roster will be ongoing the moment training camp kicks off in July. Someone who might be a star in 22 may be riding the bench like Kenny Galladay did frequently. With that said, here's our early look, and here talk about this, and the kind of battles, position battles, that fans will have to look forward to. Number 1, who will be the backup quarterback to Daniel Jones? For the fans who still think the Giants need another starting quarterback, let me stop you right there. Jones is the starting quarterback for the Giants. The 4-year, $160 million deal he signed back in March, and that any discussion that he isn't the guy and not the QB of the Giants moving forward. But as far as who gets to be his backup, that's where the battle takes place. The backup quarterback for the Giants behind Jones is veteran Tyrod Taylor, who was used very briefly in the 22 season, which was a good thing since Jones was healthy and productive. Taylor is heading into the final year of a 2-year deal he signed back in March of 2022. Behind Taylor is undrafted free agent Tommy DeVito from Illinois, who will certainly get a look over the summer. Since Jones will likely play very minimum in the preseason, both Taylor and DeVito will get a chance to show what they can do. DeVito, especially since he's younger and costs a lot less. If he can impress enough, he could have a chance to move up the depth chart and behind Jones. Joe Shane could end up bringing in another quarterback for competition too. Now, I would mention this about Tommy DeVito. He played at Rutgers, so he's going to have a lot of fans at training camp rooting him on. There's going to be a lot of fans in the stadium and Giant Stadium rooting for him to perform really well. People are really going to root for him. Number 2, who will be the backups behind Saquon Barkley, running back for the Giants? We're going to assume that Saquon Barkley doesn't hold out for the 23 season and reports on time. Now, whether he's on the franchise tag or a long-term deal remains to be seen. But we're going to make an assumption that he reports to the team to start training camp. One of the criticisms of the Giants in 2022 is that Barkley had to shoulder most of the load as the primary running back, and he eventually wore down later in the season. Although it was more of the Giants altering the offense and using Barkley in the passing game, along with him being the featured back. But the Giants do have options to spell Barkley and get others involved if needed. Veteran Matt Breida is back for another season, and when he got to play, he showed he can be productive. Also, back for the Giants is Gary Brightwell, who's more useful in special teams, especially on kick returns. The Giants also made an addition in the 23 draft when they selected Eric Gray in the 5th round from Oklahoma. While Gray isn't expected to challenge Barkley for his starting spot, he could very well challenge Breida for the backup spot behind Saquon. Could this lead to either Breida or Brightwell not making the 53-man roster? Possibly, because Gray is a guy they drafted in their 4th selection. Again, I would mention 3 of the selections the Giants made were offensive players, and Eric Gray was one of them. The number 3 positional battle you need to look for as a Giants fan. One of the priorities the Giants wanted to address in free agency was the middle linebacker spot, which the Giants did when they signed Bobby Okereke to a 4-year deal. God, hope I said his name right. That was one of the 2 spots, especially since the Giants run a 3-4 defense and have 2 middle linebacker spots. Now, who plays alongside him in the middle of is completely up for grabs. The Giants brought back veteran Jared Davis, who signed at the end of the 22 regular season and contributed in the 2 playoff games. Giants also have Micah McFadden, who was okay in his rookie season and will get to battle again for playing time. This is also Darian Beavers, who was one of several Giants rookies from a year ago who didn't see the field in 22 because of a season-ending injury during the summer. During the summer, Beavers looked like he could compete for a chance to start in Wink Martindale's defense, but the injury forced him to miss all of 22. The Giants did bring back veteran Jalen Smith for a second stint in 22, but it doesn't look like he will be back for a third one. The Giants also have Troy Brown, another one of the undrafted free agents, as he could look to compete over the summer too. If anything, Brown could push the likes of Carter Conklin, Cam Brown, plus Beavers and McFadden. And number 4 position battle we have to look forward to as Giants fan, and really this is the most exciting one because they didn't have a lot of great options at the wide receiver position last year, and they really went out of their way to bring in some interesting talent. When the Giants made the investment to give Jones the 4-year, $160 million deal back in March, they invested in Jones being the franchise quarterback, although that investment started in 2019 when Jones took over for Eli Manning as a rookie. But now with Jones locked into a new deal, the new regime is doubling down on the investment and have provided him with some new options to throw to. One of the first moves the Giants made was to trade for veteran tight end Darren Waller, who, granted, isn't a wide receiver, but he sure does give the Giants a chance to create mismatch opportunities for the opposing defenses. We'll see how he does, because he was injured last year. So we'll see how he is, but he's a good player. The Giants did bring back Darius Slayton on a 2-year deal. Slayton has been Jones' leading receiver in 3 of his 4 seasons. Jones has been the Giants' starter. Sterling Shepard was also brought back, but the question remains if he can be healthy enough to last the entire season. He has played in 10 total games in the last 2 years, but when Shepard is healthy, he's also still very productive. Then there's Jalin Hyatt, who I'm very excited to see because I saw him play for Tennessee, and he had that big game against Alabama last year when the Crimson Tide played the Volunteers, whom the Giants drafted in the 3rd round trade up to acquire in the 23 NFL Draft. Hyatt is coming off a 1,200-plus 15 touchdown season while Tennessee, in addition to the offense that gives the Giants a lot of hope for big plays down the field, something the Giants didn't have a lot in the 2022 season. Hyatt could have the potential to be the Giants' first 1,000-yard wide receiver under Jones, and the first one since Odell Beckham Jr. back in 2018. But he'll still have to come in and compete with the rest of the Giants' wide receiver depth chart and wide receiver room. Isaiah Hodgins also back for a second season with the Giants. He was one of the most dependable receivers in the second half of the 22 campaign. Hodgins came over from the Buffalo Bills. You know, Dable and Shane came from the Bills, and he played really well. He was you noticed him when he played. He was really good. He made quite an impact in the last few games. Unlike last year when the Giants couldn't depend on Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney, the Giants may have a good problem with the options that Jones will be able to throw to. As far as who gets the starting nods when the Giants head into Week 1, that remains a major question heading into camp. But watching the receivers work in the summer will sure be fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's probably the most intriguing battle that we'll have a chance to watch, is how these receivers are going to be and who Jones is going to like throwing to. That's also important as well. So let me know what you think about this video. I'm very happy the way this channel is going. I hope you like it too. And please subscribe to the Football Hut. Leave comments in the comments section. Thank you. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.